what you will find on the Wandering Gypsy RV Life, more about teaching you to understand your rig, teaching you how to go down the road, and teaching you how to be safe while you're chasing that next horizon. Welcome back to the Wandering Gypsy RV Life podcast. I'm your host, Stan Cromlish, author of the Rolling Smooth RV book series, coming to you from somewhere out on the open road with my trusty travel companions, Birdie B and Rosie. This podcast is about the RV lifestyle as it really happens. The miles, the lessons, the occasional breakdowns, and the stories that make this life worth living. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's talk a little RV life. I just want people educated and safe.
Makes sense.
I'm living the Wandering Gypsy RV life, rolling smooth beneath.
Welcome back to the Wandering Gypsy RV Life. This week, I want to talk about something a little different. Most weeks, we talk about RV systems, trip planning, maintenance, safety, products, campgrounds, or lessons learned on the road. But this week, I want to talk about why the Wandering Gypsy RV Life exists. And the funny thing is, I was reminded of that reason by words I'd already said. The first clip you saw opening this episode was from 3 weeks ago. But this week, when I heard it again as a short I'd scheduled a week ago, it hit me that is exactly why I started Wandering Gypsy RV Life. The second clip is from something I recorded back in February with Doug Simcox of Beyond the Chutes. As I was reviewing that episode this week for our series Cowboys and Cowgirls Rolling Smooth, my words from that conversation hit me like a sledgehammer. In that conversation, we were talking about tire pressure monitoring systems, and Doug asked me a question. He asked if I was sponsored. He asked if I was selling products, and my answer was no. I told him I pay for the systems I use out of my own pocket. Then I said, I just want people educated and safe. That one sentence stopped me because when I look back over the last 6 years of RV life, that sentence explains almost everything. Back in 2020, I wasn't trying to build a brand. I wasn't trying to write books. I wasn't trying to create a podcast. I wasn't trying to stand in front of rally crowds and teach seminars. I was just a guy who needed to feel alive again. Like a lot of people during COVID, I found myself working from home for the first time in my career. At first, it sounded pretty good. No commute, more flexibility, maybe even a little extra downtime. But after a few months, the walls started closing in. The workday never really ended. The meetings stacked up. The computer stayed open. And at some point, I realized I was no longer working from home. I was living at work. Then a lunch conversation with a friend changed everything. He told me about RV travel, the freedom of the road, and the places he'd been. That conversation planted a seed. Before long, I was watching videos, reading blogs, joining Facebook groups, and learning everything I could about the RV life. In July 2020, I bought my first RV, a 2013 Forest River Sunseeker 2300. I named her Bessie. Bessie wasn't fancy, but she was the beginning. Back then, I didn't know much. Honestly, I didn't even know what I didn't even know. So I bought the things people told me I needed. Sewer hoses, water pressure regulators, surge protectors, leveling blocks, a tire pressure monitoring system. I wasn't buying gadgets because I wanted a pile of accessories. I was buying them because I didn't want to be the guy who flooded a campground, blew up a water line, damaged an electrical system, or ended up stranded on the side of the road. Even then, before I had the words for it, I was trying to be educated and safe. That first test trip turned into a 77-day, 10,000-mile journey. And over those miles, the lessons started. Some lessons were cheap, some were expensive, some were embarrassing, and some DIY, but most came with a bill. I learned to dump tanks. I learned to back in to campsites. I learned that checklists matter. I learned that attention to detail matters. I learned that the road has a wicked sense of humor. Like the time I drove away from the Alsatian RV resort with the awning still out. That awning met the exit gate, and I learned a lesson I have never forgotten. RV life will teach you. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it sends an invoice. Eventually, Bessie led to Bertha. Bertha led to Rosie, my 2018 Chevrolet Equinox tow car. And then, in 2023, Birdie B came into the picture. My 2016 Tiffin Allegro open road, 34 PA. Birdie B isn't just an RV. She's my home. She's my sanctuary. And if you followed along for any length of time, you know she has helped teach me quite a few lessons herself. Roof leaks, slide issues, water system lessons, wind decisions, weight lessons, maintenance lessons, and more than a few moments where all I could do was slow down, breathe, evaluate the situation, and figure out what I was going to do next. Somewhere along the way, those lessons became the rolling smooth mindset. Rolling smooth is not about never having problems. That's not realistic. If you own an RV long enough, things are going to happen. Something will leak. Something will rattle. Something will always fail. Something will go not according to plan. Rolling smooth is about how you respond when those things happen. It's okay to panic. Just don't pour concrete. Slow down. Take a breath. Evaluate the situation and determine a course of action. It meaning you can either resolve the problem or at least mitigate it until you can get it permanently resolved. Then keep moving forward. That mindset wasn't created in a marketing meeting. It was earned over 6 years, 3 motorhomes, thousands of miles, and a lot of lessons. In 2025, I wrote the Rolling Smooth book series. I wrote those books in 3 months, from July through September. But the truth is, the books were not really written in 3 months. The typing happened in 3 months, but the lessons took 6 years. Every campground, every repair, every mistake, every decision, every bill, every mile, All of it went into those books. And now, as I work on rolling smooth, cowboy style, I realize the same thing is still true. The RV may be the classroom, but the lesson is bigger than the rig. It's about staying calm when things go sideways. It's about not turning one problem into 3 more problems. It's about being prepared enough to keep yourself, your family, your passengers, and the people around you safe. That's why I keep doing this. This week, I needed that reminder. I'll be honest with you. I've been retired a little over a year now, and there is still uncertainty. There are fuel bills, campground fees, equipment costs, business decisions, content decisions, rally responsibilities, and the ongoing question of how to make all of this sustainable. Those questions are real, but the mission is also real. This week, several people reached out to me with support and encouragement. Management, Jerry Todd, Kevin McCabe, Wendy Pate, Charlene Guidry, and others. They didn't know exactly what was going on in my head at that moment. They didn't know the questions I was wrestling with, but their calls reminded me that this work matters. Then I heard that February conversation with Doug again. There was the answer in my own words. I just want people educated and safe. That is why the Wandering Gypsy RV Life will never be just Instagram pretty. It will never be about chasing the latest TikTok dance. There's nothing wrong with beautiful pictures. I've taken plenty of them. There's nothing wrong with showing the good parts of the RV life. I love the good parts of the RV life. The sunsets, the rivers, the mountains, the fishing ponds, the morning coffees in the windshield, the friends who know that it's okay for Stan to go to bed at 8 o'clock, the joy of chasing the next horizon. But that's definitely not the whole truth. The whole truth includes wind. It includes water leaks. It includes tire pressure. It includes weight. It includes GPS planning. It includes checklists, and it includes expensive mistakes, hard days. It includes the moments when you have to make a decision that costs money but keeps you safer. That is the truth I want to share. Because if I can help one RVer avoid a tire failure, then the story was worth telling. If I can help one person understand why tire pressure matters, then the seminar was worth giving. If I can help one family avoid a water problem, then the video was worth recording. If I can help one driver check their route before they find themselves on the wrong road, then the podcast was worth producing. If I can help one person slow down, think clearly, and make a better decision, then the book was worth writing. The Wandering Gypsy RV Life exists because I believe RVers can learn. We can get better. We can understand our rigs. We can travel with more confidence. We can prepare better. We can make safer decisions. And we can still enjoy the freedom, the beauty, and the adventure of this lifestyle without pretending the hard parts don't exist. 6 years ago, I bought Bessie because I needed to feel alive again. Somewhere along the way, that journey became bigger than me. It became a way to take the lessons I learned, the cheap ones and the expensive ones, and pass them along to someone else. That's why the books exist, the podcast exists, the videos exist, the seminars exist. That's why I keep showing up. Because at the end of the day, the mission is simple. I just want people educated and safe. Until next time, keep learning, keep your wheels rolling, and keep chasing that next horizon. We'll see you down the road.
With Birdie being rosy, headed to the next sunrise.
Thank you for riding along with me today for this episode of the Wandering Gypsy RV Life podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share the podcast with a fellow traveler so more folks can find us out here on the road. You can find more stories, photos, and adventures over at WanderingGypsyRVLife.com. If you're looking for gear that helps keep your rig running right, check out Techno RV through my affiliate link at technorv.com. They really do help you adventure more and worry less. And if you enjoy cowboy storytelling and rodeo history, my good friend Doug Simcox hosts a great podcast called Beyond the Chutes, which is well worth a listen at beyondthechutes.show. If you'd like to dive deeper into the mindset behind this lifestyle, you can check out the Rolling Smooth RV book series at wanderinggypsyrvlife.com/rolling smooth. Until next time, keep your rig rolling smooth, keep your coffee hot, and remember, sometimes the best repair isn't just the one that fixes your RV. It's the one that quiets your mind. Safe travels, my friends. And remember, not all who wander are lost.